So, as I say every week, a lot has been going on in the city, and particularly over in West Gloucester. So, if you haven't heard the news, there's been quite the conversation about the West Gloucester firing range over behind Haskell Pond Reservoir. Now, the details were that there was an ordinance that was amended last spring in regards to who can use it and when. And so it was amended to say that only the Gloucester Police Department could use it between a certain amount of times. Now, since that was amended, the residents over at West Gloucester have been really advocating against the amended ordinance as it stands and have been requesting for them to scrap the ordinance says as of right now and totally restart the process in creating a new one that would better serve the community who live right there. Now, as this discussion has been going on for months, there has been effort on the city side to try to find a compromise and work with this city, with the residents and the police department, who are required by the state to have a certain number of firing practices a year. And so they're trying to find and meet the needs of all the different people here in Gloucester. But a group called Preserve West Gloucester have been huge voices in this kind of conversation, and as of this week have actually hired legal help or an attorney to have legal opinion. So they're not planning to file a lawsuit or anything like that. If there's been any chatter about that, really what their focus is to try to provide a legal opinion to why it is illegal to have the shooting range there, as they've cited in the past that they're concerned about the noise especially, but also about the safety and it being right next to a water reservoir. Mm-hmm. So some of the things just to kind of hit on, you can see the full article and the kind of legal document on our website. But their attorneys, Greg McGregor and Nathaniel Stevens, had mentioned that it is in their legal opinion that the use of the Haskell Reservoir land for the firing range is illegal under Article 97, the doctrine of prior public use, the Wetlands Protection Act, and the City of Gloucester Wetlands Ordinance, and the Mass DEP drinking water regulations. And so they're seeking that the firing range use as of right now stop immediately for a lot of different reasons. And again, it's very intricate explanations of why they're saying, if they're using lead bullets or if they're not using lead bullets, how does that affect the water, different things like that. The noise being a problem, and looking again at Article 97, since I started reporting here, has been a pretty consistent argument within, advocating against development or putting things in open spaces here in Gloucester. So I think that in itself is a really interesting note. But again, the residents aren't seeking any legal action. They're seeking legal opinion and provide that to the city, kind of saying that they are eager and very appreciative of the city taking this seriously. The Ordinance and Administration Standing Committee had planned to discuss the amending the ordinances this past week and actually put a stop at it to look over the documents that had been sent to them and are taking it step by step, trying to figure out what their approach is going to be in the discussion ahead. So that's kind of the latest on that. Realize there's a lot there, and I'm sure there's more to come in the near future.
Yeah, and on another note, there's lots of good, positive business news spreading about this week. Let's start with the former Whole Foods property on Parker Street in Gloucester.
Yeah, so I know that pasta here is huge, right, with a lot of Italian roots and people wanting to make their grandmother's, their mother's favorite dishes. And a Italian-based manufacturer has just started the process of, or not just started process, or is really getting into the weeds of setting up shop here in Gloucester, which is quite exciting. So Bonio Campagna, which is BC companies, how they go, or BC Gourmet is going to be opening up at the site that Corey had mentioned, and they're very excited. So Daniele Dio Talavi, I'm bad at pronouncing, but he's their CEO, and he had mentioned how he's really excited. So they had a property in Lynn, and they had kind of acquired a company in that time and expanded their business, and then is now also in the process of acquiring another company that's based out of Florida, and they're planning to bring all of that into Gloucester and really working on trying to manufacture the best pasta sauce, a few pastas and sauces and dips that you can find at Whole Foods, at Trader Joe's, a couple different places like that. But they're very excited, and it was really cool to be on the call that they were on, I believe, a couple days ago, where the CEO of the company was actually zooming in from Italy, and it was midnight there. And the mayor came on, and they were speaking Italian with each other, and
No kidding.
quite excited. Yeah, it was really cool to see. It was fun. Didn't understand. I might have lived in Italy for a year, but my Italian is not very good. So
Yeah.
it was cool to see just again communities coming together, and for something to be moving into an empty lot here in Gloucester, it's exciting to see that it's something like that has the roots of so many people here in Gloucester. So details of that, of when that'll be moving in, I'm sure to come. Right now they're kind of in the process of trying to figure out different documents and certs and permits and stuff like that, but they are coming. And a big thing to note is they are looking to bring in jobs to the city, so they're going to be coming in with 25 current jobs from those who are going to be moving from Lynn. They're also seeking in the next 5 years to add 8 more jobs, as they're going to be also kind of acquiring these other businesses and expanding their businesses and their manufacturing and equipment and stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have some really important questions. First of all, is it fresh pasta or dried pasta? Do we know?
Oh, I don't know. I think they specialize in sauces. I think that's the thing. And they kind of said the pasta as a side note. So I'm sure that, you can't have pasta without a really good sauce, or really what's the point of pasta sauce if there's no pasta? So I think that they do have a few, but it's a good question that we should ask in the near future when they start making their way over here.
And will there be a retail component at all? Do you have any idea?
Oh, I don't know. I think that they specialize in the manufacturing aspect, and then they outsource it. Again, like you can find it at, I went to Trader Joe's immediately after the meeting and did find their sauces. But I'm not sure. That's a good question. Yeah, wondering if it's so local, if they're not just going to outsource it to other places, but if local places can acquire it too.
Well, Steve Connolly wholesales fish, but then they have that little retail market and they're right next door. So they might, build on that model. Yeah. Anyway, what's next? What else do you have?
So this is what's surprising to me is I always thought of surfing as a summer activity, but the people already out catching the waves. Apparently this is this time of the year to go surfing. I think it's freezing cold, but there are people out there who love it. And for those who surf over at Good Harbor are going to be pleased to know that Surfari, the local surf shop that not only provides kind of gear, but also provides, private lessons and things like that, have moved locations. So if you remember, Surfari had been on Main Street, but they've actually moved down the street from Good Harbor, right next to Cape Ann Coffees, and right across the street from Rose Harbor Scoops. So you can not only get your coffee and your ice cream, but you can also get your essentials for surfing, as they have moved locations and are very eager. They're moving to 88 Bass Avenue, and they are doing private appointments right now, but are looking to open up full hours very soon, as they know so many people are going to be coming. And they said that this location has been an ideal and a dream location for so long, because you think about it, there is water right next to Main Street, but unless a boat is going very fast and creating some very big waves, you're not going to be catching any waves over there. And so to be able to be close to where locals and tourists surf is going to be huge for this company.
Yeah, it just looks like a surf shop already. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Parking, you can spread out your surfboards in the parking lot, let them dry off, brush the sand off. It's great.
All right, Taylor, I'm in the mood for ice cream.
Oh, I always am. And I'm very excited to announce that Holy Cow Ice Cream Cafe is opening up a second location. Now, this location is not in Cape Ann. It's actually right down the road from my neck of the woods. It's in Peabody. So it's going to be on Route 114. And this place is going to expand the kind of work. And so you know anything about Holy Cow, you know that they specialize in special flavors and packing as much as they can into that pint of ice cream for all these delicious and really locally based flavors, as they partner with different restaurants, different companies and businesses to do fundraisers, but also just kind of do a shout out to the idea of what a local business is all about. And so I had the opportunity to speak with Mike, the owner, yesterday, and he just expressed how excited he is to have the second location. And he said the big push to open up the second location was because they were having so many people come from really far away to Gloucester, which is awesome. But he also identified that not everybody can make that trip. And so he saw that as a great opportunity to find a new location and expand their business, have extra space to be able to store more ice cream, and so they can just improve their business over time. Now, this location is actually a current ice cream shop. So people who have been from over the bridge know Chandler's Ice Cream was a big staple here in Peabody. And it had been open for a long time and then closed, and it had opened and closed for a number of years, starting in 2003. And so the questions of what was going to be there next has been the question since the beginning of 2000s. And now I know that they're really, really eager to open up this new shop. So it should be really cool to see how it impacts not only the business, but the community around here. As I know, as my commute, I pass by not only the local ice cream shops in Gloucester, but I will now pass by, I pass by Carl's, I pass by Holy Cow, and I pass by Treadwell's, which anyone here knows there's Treadwell's.
But who's keeping score, Taylor? Really?
Right. Yeah.
And if anybody who wants to do an ice cream competition this summer with me, I am eager and ready. So
I'll take you on. Yeah.
Well, awesome stuff as always, Taylor. We're looking forward to talking to you next week. Have a good one for now.
Hey, you too, guys. Bye.
Bye.